Just a short boat ride across the calm seas south of Ternate sits the rival island of Tidore. While stories of Ternate and Tidore often focus on the colonial experience, in this installment of our investigation into narratives of maritime connectivity, we want to explore the crucial role that the sultanates of the two islands played before, during, and after the Europeans, a role that has shifted over time, but remains key to understanding regional connectivity, heritage, and identity for the local communities on the two islands. Most importantly, the sultanates continue to act as a gatekeeper to what could be considered the heart of a local heritage. A region well known to non-Europeans for its spices, by the 12th century, the North Moluccas had become a substantial trading hub, with the sultanates of Tidore and Ternate wielding considerable political power over the surrounding islands. From the 16th century onwards, the Islamic sultanates of both islands became entangled in a power struggle for political supremacy in the North Moluccas, with both parties leveraging precarious alliances. Ternate with the Portuguese, and Tidore with the Spanish. A large-scale revolt in Ternate, in response to the Portuguese assassination of Sultan Harun in 1570, is one of the better-preserved parts of the Portuguese Fort Castella in Ternate. The mural, a community-made commemoration of the stabbing of Sultan Harun and the subsequent expulsion of the Portuguese from the island, is an ingenious interpretation with unique imagery. It is also the only explicit reference to the turbulent history of the islands that we saw. The Sultanate's interactions with the Dutch were no less complex and traumatic. Still, we recall how the gate of the Sultan's palace in Ternate opened onto a direct pathway to the 17th century Dutch fort Oranje. Even the Dutch understood that, without the Sultans, their connection to the local community, and their strategic involvement in the region and beyond, we would be talking about a very different history. This only scratches the surface of a textured and nuanced past. We heard about the fabled Kora Kora boats that were invincible to European cannonballs, and the Sultan's logbook of people coming in and out of the islands. During our discussions at the Tidore Sultanate Palace, we also learned how various maritime traditions continue today, and that many people on the island still use the local language. There is a trove of archival information and documents that could be used to better understand the stories of these communities, their histories, and how the sultans helped shape the destiny of these islands. And while the political power of the sultanates has evolved and redeveloped since the middle of the 20th century, to this day, there remain important cultural fixtures and organizational reference points in society on both islands. Many community customs and rituals are directly linked to the sultans. One such ritual that we were able to witness was Morena Bunga Rampe, a flower-cutting tradition where 3 days a week, women in the community prepare and cut flowers to place on the sultan's graves. Sultanates of Ternate and Tidore are not only a crucial part of a tradition and heritage, but also a very active preserver and organizer of community and identity for people on the islands. They existed long before the Europeans and continue to thrive today. There are, of course, many other sultanates on the archipelago that were and remain powerful. But through our focus on links to maritime trade, the Ternate and Tidore sultanates are critical to understanding how that connectivity and that history inform current discussions on identity in the region.